What is going on, everybody? It's J.R. Fisher here, and I guess I'm live. Let me know if I'm live. Let me know if you can hear me. I just had a sneezing fit, so I'm trying to clear my head a little bit. I've been on tech support this morning. I woke up and I had like 10 problems I had to handle, but good morning, everybody. Hey, it's Friday. We're alive and well. It's good to see you guys here. If you're new to the channel, hey, I do these lives every day to help you guys out, to help you start, run, and grow online businesses. Today we're going to talk about e-commerce, which I've done for over 11 years online successfully. We've done millions of dollars, and I think I've done about $9,000 or $10,000 already this morning. From the time I got up until now, so not a bad day so far. But we've got the whole day to go. And I just started. In all fairness, I sent out an email yesterday for a promo that I'm doing, so that's why we're doing that kind of volume. But it's a good thing. It's nice. My man, I can't talk. My main man, James Breen, he says it's loud and clear in Savannah. Sure thing. I hit the like button. Yes, he always reminds me, guys. You got to hit that like button. That's really important to the YouTube algorithm. And once you do that and you subscribe, you want to make sure you ring the bell, turn on all bell notifications so you're notified each and every time I go live, and you know when I upload a video. So today we're going to talk about what you need to know before you start an e-commerce business, because hey, it's not easy. And I want to give you a list of things, and if you go through the list with me, you'll find out you're going to have much better results. However, if you've got questions, anything about starting, running, and growing an online business, I want you to share them with me. Put that in the chat section there. If you're watching this video and it's not live anymore, there'll be a comment section, and you can put it in the comment section. I'll come back and talk to you. I answered a bunch of comments yesterday. I've got a bunch more I've got to do today. I hope you handled those 10 problems one at a time. I have not handled all of them, James, and it's this, it's just little glitchy things. It's so weird. I'll go over a couple of them with you, because this is the kind of stuff you got to deal with. So I woke up this morning and I had a warning from YouTube that one of my videos had a link that had sexual content, and that violated their rules, and that if I got another one that I would have a strike against my account and I wouldn't be able to upload videos for a week. And I'm like, what the heck? So I looked at it, and I looked at the link, and the link went to SEO information. I was like, well, that doesn't even make sense. And I went to the video, and the video's still there, and the link's still there. I'm like, well, if it was a bad link, why didn't you guys remove it? So I got onto a chat support and talked to a guy there at YouTube, and he said, I don't see a warning, but let me check into it. And he came back, he says, well, I don't see any warning. He says, can you send me screenshots of the email? So I did all these screenshots of the email that I got from YouTube and sent those to him. And then he came back and he says, yeah, it's probably a computer glitch. I said, well, I've got like 1,000 videos. I don't want to have it affect my account. He goes, oh, no, well, no big deal. Just a computer glitch. That's just the way it is. And I'm like, why'd you put me through all that? And then another one was, we did a huge refund for a customer because their product was delayed. And hey, if somebody wants their money back, we give it back. But my office took it out of my PayPal account, of which I always transfer over all the PayPal money to my bank account. And then I transfer it, and there's like a double layer bank account there, because it goes to one bank account, then I take it out of that bank account and put it into another account, because years ago PayPal took a bunch of money out of my bank account, so I don't want them to have access to it. So I had to have this double layer account thing. And when they went to refund this amount, I had already transferred money out. There wasn't enough money in there, so they went to that primary account to try to draw money out, which they can do. They can take money out of your account, and there wasn't enough there, so now I've got a fee. I got to pay the bank because they took money out, because my office didn't tell me they were doing this big refund. So little things like that, just little things like that. That's the kind of stuff that happens when you're running an e-commerce business. And what I did, I think it's going to be really helpful to you, is I made a list of all these things that you really should know before you start an e-commerce business. And the first thing is, the competition's tough. Okay, you got to realize this, guys. So many people go, what's the easiest way to make money online? I'm like, don't go for the easiest way, because the easiest way is going to make you little money. The easiest way is just to go work for somebody else in some freelance site and do stuff that takes no skills. I mean, that's the easiest way to make money online. But what you should be looking for is the most profitable way to make money online, and e-commerce is one of them. I mean, like I told you, it was like between 9 and 10 grand this morning already. That's the kind of thing you want to learn how to do. So e-commerce is really good. Now, online stores have seen a boom over the last 10 years. They really have. They estimate now that there's more than 20 million e-commerce sites live on the internet, and that number of online buyers is expected to reach 20 billion. So that's another thing I would tell you. Yeah, there's a lot more competition now, but there's a lot more buyers now. Almost everybody buys online now. So don't be afraid of that, don't be afraid that there's competition. If there's competition, there's opportunity. If there's nobody doing something, there's probably no opportunity. You got to think of it that way. There's really, don't become disheartened by any stats. I see people do that all the time. You should actually use this information to encourage yourself, your creativity, your entrepreneurial spirit, which brings me actually to my second point. You need to stand out from the crowd, okay? You've got to do something a little bit different. It really is essential that you offer something customers can't find anywhere else. Now, you may be offering essentially the same kind of products, but you could be doing it in a different way. You kind of need to get your thinking cap on. You need to devise products, unique selling points. With the best of the world, you won't see many sales if you're plugging products into an oversaturated market with nothing new to offer. We offer really a lot of instruction. We offer a lot of help to our customers to prepare. So you need to do these different things that are going to make yourself stand out, your brand stand out. Whether it's totally new or whether it's a different way of approaching it, do something. I was thinking about Tom's, the shoe company. They did stuff for charity, but you can buy flip-flops anywhere. But they did something a little bit different. They had a different angle. Next thing I would tell you, and guys, don't forget, even if I'm talking about this e-commerce stuff, you could put stuff in this chat section. I constantly look down here. I have this, where is it? I'll show you. This iPad right here, okay? And it is for me to just monitor comments, okay? So I have that iPad here, and I'm watching you guys. I'm watching what you're putting in here, so feel free to do so. Number 3 is get good at marketing. Man, marketing's everything. Somebody was talking to me yesterday. I was in Starbucks. I'm finally allowed to go into Starbucks and not wear a mask. And he was asking me what the best product is to sell. I said, all products are good. What you need to get good at is marketing any product. So I could take any product at this point. I don't care if it's a chair. I don't care if it's a desk. I don't care if it's a mug. My mug right here, okay? I don't care if it's that. And I'm drinking the lemon water. I'm trying that now. And I think my throat's doing better. A little squeeze of lemon in the morning. So this morning I put a little bit of honey in it, and just ice water. So that's what I'm drinking. But essentially, if you could market, like I sent this email sequence last night, and I'm making thousands of dollars this morning. But it's only because I learned to market. I can tell you, 10 years ago when I started, I would send an email and I would just get crickets. Nothing happened. Zero. But now I know what to do, because I went online and I learned. I learned from people who were successful, and that's kind of what you should be doing today. Take some notes, learn this stuff. It may seem really difficult in the beginning. It may seem like it's a mammoth task, but if you just break it down into smaller chunks, you can learn these things. Learn the email, learn sales pages, learn SEO. Essential part of all this is to start identifying your target market. Figure out who you're marketing to. That's the biggest thing. Who is your audience? I know my audience. I know their ages. I know what they do. I know what groups they're in. And I only know that over experience. And guys, the only way to get experience is to go out and try things. Some things won't work. They just won't work. But it's okay if you run into those things, because then you'll know those things don't work. Now, don't say things like, running ads online doesn't work, or sending out emails doesn't work. No, that's not true. If other people are doing it and they're making money at it, okay, so let's say other people are sending out emails and they're making money, and you try to send out emails and you don't make money. What is the determining factor there? It's you. So you did something wrong, okay? That's okay. It's okay to do something wrong, but it's not okay to say that the whole system doesn't work because you weren't successful at it. I've heard people say, well, selling products online really doesn't work. That's a scam. Really? Tell that to Amazon. And they go, well, you can't compete with Amazon. I mean, there's no way to make money online now because of Amazon. Why does I make money every single day then? Why is it millions of other sites make money every single day? It's because you don't know how to do it. So my suggestion to you is first get your head straight, and that's going to be my bonus at the end. But get your head straight and realize, yeah, you can do these things. They're not that hard. I mean, you just got to put in some effort. Number 4 would be to pick the right platform to sell your stuff on. This is really essential. I've got technically 3 platforms I sell my products on. Okay, so the first one is Kartra. Kartra, I will have a link in the description. If you don't have Kartra, you can click on the link. You can watch a video on how it works. It really is essential to selling anything online. I mean, I don't care if you're selling products, services, e-commerce, doesn't matter. Whatever you're selling online, get Kartra, get it. It's going to save you a ton of money. It's going to make you a lot of money too. So that's one place I sell. The other place I sell is on WordPress. Okay, so I have websites on WordPress. The next place I sell is on Magento, which is a very high level e-commerce site builder. And I'll be working on that tonight. One of my employees is in India, and this is Friday. And on Friday, he has different hours than I do. So I've got to work with him at 8 o'clock tonight. So from probably 8 o'clock tonight to about 10 p.m. tonight, I'm going to be on a call with him fixing stuff and doing stuff because I'm trying to revamp my website. Let's see here. Do you still create content for the survival niche? I do, James, but I got to tell you, I've gotten a little lazy in that area. I have a lot created that I haven't posted yet. And the reason I haven't is because we are switching over the site, and that goes into the blog area. And it has to be SEO'd, and if I do it on one site, then I've got to do it on the new site, so that's why I've kind of fallen off on that. However, I will start doing it. And I'll tell you another reason that makes you fall off on stuff is money. When you start making a lot of money, your motivation to really work hard kind of dissipates a little bit. I have a friend who I help who owns a company called Veraheel, and I helped him out with his marketing, and we were having lunch the other day, and I think he's probably about 28 years old, 27, 28. He's made millions of dollars. I mean, millions and millions of dollars. And since he's made all this money, he bought a 49-foot yacht. He has a Ferrari. He has a Lamborghini. He has a Tesla. He has homes in 3 different states. And he was looking at me across the table as we were having some barbecue, and he goes, JR, what should I do next? I don't know what to do next. Because I had helped him out in the beginning a few years ago. And I said, I don't know. He goes, what do you mean you don't know? You're supposed to know what I'm supposed to do. I said, no, I'm not. I said, you have to figure out what's important to you. He said, well, I just don't feel that motivated. I said, you don't feel motivated because you got a lot of money. And he looked at me and he goes, I think you're right. He goes, it's like, I don't need to do anything. I said, exactly. So the next step you need to do is find out what you're passionate about. Is it helping kids? Is it helping the homeless? Is it making a difference in our education system? What is it that's going to drive you next? And he's like, thanks, I appreciate that. That is what I need. And he said that he wants to help young entrepreneurs learn how to make money and be self-sufficient. And that's what he went off to do. And he will, and he'll be successful at it. He's a great guy. But that's the thing, guys. When you say to me, have you been working on that content thing? I need to work on it. I'm having a hard time because I'm making a lot of money, and it's hard when you're making a lot of money to just go do stuff, but I got to do it. And you're right. And I'm going to do it. So there's, a whole bunch of different pieces of software you can find out there. I recommend Kartra. I mean, the thing with all the other softwares is they're always missing some component. And when they're missing some component, you got to go get another one. And then you have another one. You have all these things Frankenstein together when you could just use Kartra for all of them. Finding the why is definitely the starting point. It really is, Paul. It's like, and the why matters a lot more once you've got some money. It really does. It matters a whole lot more once you've got some money. James says, I'm getting ads to join Samcart. Any opinion on this new competitor for Kartra and ClickFunnels? Actually, Samscart's been around longer than I think both of those. I know it's been around longer than Kartra. Samscart's been around for a while. Samscart is good. I'm not going to say anything's wrong with it, but it's missing some vital components that Kartra has, and I don't really think it compares to ClickFunnels. Those are 2 different kinds of animals. Personally, I wouldn't use ClickFunnels and I wouldn't use Samscart now. Now, I did use Samscart and I had ClickFunnels for a couple of years, but it just really missed on a lot of fronts. It didn't have really a good email type thing. I forgot what their email thing was, but it just didn't work very well. ClickFunnels, that is. And Sam's Cart, I don't believe, has the email capacity either. Man, Kartra is it right now. The only thing that's close is a product that Mike Filsame has out. I think it's called GrooveCart, and it has a lot of pretty cool stuff. I haven't really looked at it. I know Mike, but the problem is I've got all my stuff in Kartra now, and I think the only thing that GrooveCart has is they give you some free webinar software, which I'm paying Webinar Jam and EverWebinar for. So that's the only difference in those two things. Sam's Cart's good. It just doesn't do everything I need. Let's see. Paul says it's also not like you're just sitting around doing nothing. That's true. That's true. And that's another thing. The more you get into this, guys, it's like you have so many things you can do. I know there's probably 100 things I could do today to make some money. Now, the question is, which one do I flow towards? Now, in a human mind, we're going to say, well, you want to flow towards the things that are easiest to do to make some money. And I would say that's the wrong thing to do. I would say you need to flow towards the things that in the long run are going to get you the best results. So it's like, I was exercising yesterday. I was doing some sit-ups. No, excuse me. I was doing push-ups yesterday. I wasn't doing sit-ups. I lied. And the easiest thing to do would be to not do those push-ups. And I would have woke up probably healthy today. However, I chose to do the push-ups. My wife chose to do the push-ups because we know that, yeah, sure, we're going to wake up healthy today. But if we keep doing the push-ups every single day, we're going to have really good results, on down the road. Now, here's something interesting. I was a little bit weaker yesterday than I normally am. And I looked at her and I said, I'm not setting any records today. And we did a few more push-ups and she looked over at me and she goes, you're wrong. I said, what do you mean I'm wrong? She says, you're wrong. You said you weren't setting any more records today. And I said, no, because I'm doing less than I had done, like a couple days ago. She goes, no, you set a record today because you did it for another day in your life. And that's a new record. I was like, yeah, and she had such a really positive thing to say about that. And I really appreciated that. I thought that was pretty cool that she added that, and I knew that was the right thing. I'm a little off track because I was talking about platforms. Let's look at number 5 here, and let's look at your product content. Number 5 is your product content. That's super, super important. Let's see. Paul says, I don't think GrooveCart has the volume and the reach as well as the support that Kartra does. Really? I didn't know that. That's good to know. Kartra does have pretty good support. It can take sometimes up to 24 hours, which is aggravating, but that's gotten a lot better. But yeah, I didn't know that. I don't know that much about GrooveCart. I was going to go on that marketer's cruise, Paul. I don't know if you saw that. That's supposed to be in the fall. And I was going to talk to Mike about GrooveCart, but I think you got to make a decision by the 24th of this month, and with my moving and everything, I don't know if I can make that decision. I did talk to the guy that runs it, shoot, Captain, I can't think of his name, Paul. Put it in the chat box there. But I talked to him a couple days ago, and I asked him, are they going to add more spots? And he says, we'll see. I don't know if I'm going to have spots or not. But I'd like to go on that cruise, Paul. And let me know if you're going on that. First things first, online world, WordPerfect content that gets your message across is absolutely vital. It really is. If you sell a practical product, you may think that speaks for itself, but it really doesn't. You got to market it. I can't count how many times I look at a menu at a restaurant. Maybe it's chicken parmesan, and it says chicken parmesan with tomato sauce and spaghetti. And then I go to another restaurant and it says, non-GMO, humanely raised chicken breast, pounded flat, with a chunky, slightly spicy tomato sauce, with a all organic mozzarella cheese melted to perfection. Now, which one's going to make you want to buy that more, So it's the same thing with your products online. You got to make them appetizing. They've got to be appetizing to the mind, to the heart. They got to be something that people want. So don't just describe things. Just a plain description doesn't do much. Next thing, number 6, and this is something I'm going to get really big on very soon. Oh yes, Captain Lou. Captain Lou, you're right. And I don't know if you remember, Paul, at the party that we had on that ship, I actually came dressed as Captain Lou. I had the captain's hat on and the whole deal. And I was saying, what was the saying? He said, what happens now is everything, or something to that effect. I was walking around saying that. Jim Edwards had sponsored cruises. Okay, I didn't know about Jim Edwards. I know the Marketer's Cruise is really pretty good. Paul says your discipline is one of your keys to success. Paul, I beat myself up on that all the time. I'm always saying to myself that I need to do more. There's more stuff I should be doing. That's really a daily battle for me. If I sit down on the couch and I turn on the TV, I'm like, man, I should be doing something else. And so I have that battle, and I'm working on it. I'm working on giving myself credit for what I do, but I really have a hard time with that one. But anyhow, number 6 is SEO. It's like, if you can do some SEO, guys, you make some automatic money without ever having to run ads or do anything. If you don't know SEO, you can learn it. It's pretty simple to do. There's so many videos on it. I have videos on it. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to do some more training on SEO because more people need to learn that. Let's see. I'm planning, Paul says, I'm currently planning on going to Podcast Movement this year in Nashville and maybe stop by Funnel Hacker Live, but just to hang out. Interesting. Yeah, there's a podcast has become huge. And that's another thing I beat myself up about, Paul. Thanks for that one. I know I should have a podcast, and I don't. Or I could just take some of my content and make it into a podcast, and I don't. That's another thing I beat myself up about. But in the past, data suggested that the top results on Google gained 33% of its traffic from any given search. So search really is important. However, more recent suggest that ranking number 1 isn't the be-all and end-all. So, don't get disheartened if you can't rank number 1. It's hard to do. But using more long-tail keywords works out a whole lot better, guys. So I would suggest that. Number 7, I'm going to say use visuals. Visuals are super, super important. And I love your chats this morning, guys. I love you guys putting that stuff in there. It's very helpful. But visuals are real important. And I see so many people, they'll get like a product from China or something, and they pull the pictures off the site from China, and they put those pictures on their site, and it's boring as heck. Don't do that. Get the product, buy the product, get it to your house, look at it, feel it, touch it, hold it in your hand, take a picture of it in your hand. If it's a spoon, show it stirring some soup or whatever. Make it look like, something that people want. Do a video with it, okay? Videos are so important. Do a video with the product, somebody using the product. If it's a chopper, maybe you're chopping stuff up and showing how it works. If you do that stuff, your products are going to sell so much better on your site. And try to make it an improvement, We went out to lunch, and I've got this stupid thing where every time I'm in a business, I'm trying to look for things they could improve. And I went to this business, and they have and it was in a food court, and they had all the food displayed. It's behind the glass there where they can scoop it out, and they have a counter behind it where you can see the counter. And they scoop it out, and they put it in the containers, and it goes down the line. And I'm watching the lady behind the line, and she's wiping up, some of the food that got dropped on the counter behind the food, okay, where she's standing. And she's wiping it, and she's trying to get it in her hand, and she's trying to put it in the trash and trying to do that. And I'm thinking, why don't they have a hole in the middle of that counter with a trash bag underneath, and they can just wipe it all into there? It would save so much time. So I'm looking at that, and I'm seeing what they're doing, and I'm thinking, gosh, there's just all these little things that businesses don't do. I look at Chick-fil-A that's got it so organized. They have these canopies outside for shade for the employees. They have 2 or 3 people outside with iPads, and they're taking orders. And then I drive over to Popeyes, and I see a line around the building, and there's one person working the drive-thru. And then when you get to the drive-thru, he says, hello, welcome to Popeyes. Can you hang on for a second? I'm like, I've been hanging on for 20 minutes. You're not ready at this point? You didn't see me 10 cars back? You're not ready to take my order? Why can't these other companies look at Chick-fil-A and look at what they're doing, or In-N-Out Burger? Same thing. They got it figured out. Anyhow, I'm supposed to be talking about visuals right now, number 7. You're getting me all wound up. All right, let's see. I really on fence for Marketer's Cruise, thinking of waiting a year. Yeah, I've waited a year and a half. I'm tired of waiting. But I know what you mean, Paul. I will miss connecting with some incredible marketers. Creating enticing content is huge. You need to stand out. He's right. Number 8. What do we got for number 8 today, guys? Man, I'm fired up today. Are you fired up today? I'm fired up. And you know what's cool is I get a lot of comments from you guys after this is live. I had Cameron, and guys, some of you guys know Cameron. He's a 13-year-old in Pakistan who's making money online. But he was sending me some messages yesterday that he had his finals and he couldn't show up for the live, and he was apologizing for it. It was just so heartwarming that he cares enough to do that. He's the kind of person that's going to do really well in business, because at 13 he's thinking about being polite and being kind to other people and being responsible. But number 8 is networking. All right, Paul, I said it, networking. It's still very important. As a business owner, you may feel like you're on an island or something like that, but there's millions of people out there you need to connect with. We're connecting right now. We have this relationship going right now, which I think is pretty darn cool. Reaching out to fellow e-commerce business owners, both online and in person, really will help you learn what makes a successful launch of anything, as well as building up a network of people that you can reach out to. What if you have a problem? What if things don't go wrong? What if you get a question about something? What if you could help somebody? That's another thing. I see so many people go on these conventions or cruises or whatever it is, and they go there to get help. I never do that. I never ever go there to get help. And Paul, I'll tell you, on that one cruise that we went on, I met Sam. Sam is the guy with Veraheel I was just talking about, that has the yacht and the Ferrari and the Lamborghini and all that. He's a young guy. He was in his 20s, and I met him. We were doing the muster where you have to go put on your life vest and all that, and I happened to be standing next to him, and we struck up a conversation. He ended up being one of my clients, and he brought his entire staff to San Diego, and I trained all of them, and I made thousands of dollars on that, which is okay, because he made hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars off what I taught him. In addition to that, I met somebody else on there, Paul, and I'm talking to Paul because he was on this cruise, and this person owned a credit card processing company, and that's the company that paid me $2,000 an hour to help them out. And I'll tell you, I didn't go to get any clients. I didn't go for that reason. I just sat down with this person. It was a female, and I was explaining to her some of the things she needs to do to promote her business. And when she heard all this, she was like, "Can I hire you?" And I was like, "I guess," and I ended up helping her, and she had a winery and all these things going on. And I made $66,000 for 33 hours work, I think it was. It was $2,000 an hour. So, you never know where you're going to meet people, but I always go to these things, and I'm speaking to Paul because he was at that, but I always go to these things with this intent, and that way I'm never disappointed. My intent is to go there and help somebody. How about that? How about if you went to a party and you decided that you were going to go to a party, and instead of seeing if the party was good, you went to the party to see if you could make people feel good? What if you went to the party to be the nice person to everybody? What if you went to the marketing convention to help people with their marketing? What about that? Then you would never come back and go, "That was a crappy cruise. That was a crappy meeting. That was a bad party," because you went there with a different intent. That's what I do. And I'm never disappointed. I can never come back and say that was a crappy cruise, because if it was my fault, because my intent was to go there and help somebody. Number 9, what not to do. What not to do. When you're building these contacts and drawing on other people's experience, you may want to learn a thing or two, but what not to do is just as important. If you rush in and you've got poor planning and you're spreading yourself too thin with the number of products you offer, you're gonna have a problem. Okay, start small and build up. Let's see here. Paul says, I want to go on Jim Edwards' cruise, but it's not till next year. What is the Jim Edwards cruise, guys? I don't know what that is. Put that in the chat. Nate was cool to meet on the cruise. Yeah, Nate's become a good friend of mine. He's actually moved to Puerto Rico, or is going to move to Puerto Rico. He's an incredible marketer. Hope he does another cruise. I don't see him doing any cruises. And the only reason I don't see him doing that, Paul, is his main thing now is he works for a company and he sells online businesses. He's like a broker of online businesses. So he's really out of that convention kind of thing, not doing that at all anymore. He's doing some videos on YouTube, which I've talked to him a little bit about. He's not doing them right. And I'm not saying anything behind his back or anything like that, but he's not doing them right, so he's not getting the results that he should be getting. I don't see him doing a cruise unless he changes what he's doing for a living. But what he's doing for a living now does not constitute a cruise. Number 10. Number 10. What can I say about number 10? Success takes time, but anybody can do it. Let me repeat that. Success takes time, but anybody can do it. This is not going to be an overnight success, guys. It's not going to be an overnight success because you have to build your knowledge. You have to build what you know. Success takes time, but anybody can do it. If you've got average intelligence, you don't have to have above average intelligence. That's not important. It's unlikely that your e-commerce store is going to be a huge success overnight. It's a whole lot better if you build up slowly. It's unlikely that if I decide I was going to do push-ups today for the first time ever in my life, that I was going to do over 100 push-ups. I could do 133 right now in 3 sets of 40 seconds. Do 133. Now, how did I get to 133? By doing 5 or 10 at a time, starting off really slow, but having good form, right? What if you do sloppy push-ups? Will you ever be able to have great form at 100? Probably not. They're going to be terrible. So it's a whole lot better when you start your website and you start doing stuff that you do it really good and clean and nice, even though you don't see huge results in the beginning, because you're going to be building on that foundation. It's just super important for you to realize if other people are doing this stuff, you can do it too. Anybody listening to me right now if you can figure out how to watch a video on YouTube, you can make money in e-commerce. You really can. It's just a matter of putting forth the effort, guys. It's a matter of doing what you need to do. That's the biggest part, is people put forth a little effort, they don't get the results they thought they should get, and they quit. There's so many quitters out there. Oh my God, the road to success is paved with quitters. But what's funny is I see so many of them quit right before they almost hit some success. It's like there's this wall there, and on the other side is success, and they bump into the wall a few times. They don't figure out how to walk around it. They don't figure out how to step over it. They don't figure it out because they quit. It's not because they couldn't figure it out. They can. You can figure this stuff out. So I guess I want to leave today, and let me read some of your comments before I leave and go anywhere. Jim is a great copywriting guy and is partnered with Brunson. His book, Copywriting Secrets, is great. He is great at copy, like Matt Basic is great at email. Both have specialized niches. Okay, I appreciate that. I don't feel like copywriting is one of my weaknesses. I do pretty good on that, and emails is definitely not one of my weaknesses. I do really well on that. But that's not to say that I shouldn't go to something like that, because there's other people there I could help with that, right? I didn't say go there and learn stuff from other people, right? I said maybe there's some people I could go there and help with that, because they obviously need help with it. And could something good come out of that? Possibly. Maybe I'll get 2 clients, but I don't really want any clients now, so I can't even go in that direction. But I owe it at this point, right? Don't I owe it to go to some of these things and help some people out who are struggling? I think I do, because I woke up today and I had a bunch of money in my account. I woke up today and I'm healthy, and I woke up today after 11 years of doing this, and I still don't have to work for somebody. So yeah, I should go to more of these things. I should help more people out, and that should be my goal. And would I get something back from it? I might. Maybe a friendship, something like that. Could somebody tell me something that would help my business? They may, but that's not the reason I should go. So that's another thing I'll tell you, I guess, is the bonus today, guys, is as you learn any of this stuff, help some people out. Just reach back. Just reach back. You can't imagine how good this feels when you help somebody out and they contact you and they go, oh my God, I made $10,000 off what you told me. I made $10,000 off what you told me. I made $50,000 off what you told me. I have a product now, and I was able to quit my job the other day. I'm not making what I want, but I was able to quit my job because of what you told me, what you helped me with. So as you go, and you can't do this all day long. You can't do this all day long, right? You just got to do it in small increments. But as you go, guys, reach back every now and then and help somebody. Reach back and help somebody. Go to these conventions, go to these meetings, go to these things with the intention of helping somebody. Now you may say to yourself, well, I don't know anything at all. Well, maybe you could just be kind to people when you're there. Maybe you could just do that. Okay, maybe that would make somebody feel good if you were just kind to people and you listen to them, you talk to them, and you were friendly to them. Maybe anybody can do that, right? And anybody can do e-commerce. Believe me, I'm doing e-commerce. You can do e-commerce. It's not that big of a deal. You help people think outside of their comfort zone. That's your specialized power. Well, I think we all need to do that. Comfort zones are meant to keep us small. That's what they're there for. Comfort zone is meant to keep you small. Don't look around for all the comfortable things to do. We went to the food court yesterday and we got lunch, and we were both very hungry, and we both got less food than what we wanted. It would have made us more comfortable to get more food. Matter of fact, I didn't even get the food I wanted. I got some grilled chicken, and I saw this Chinese place that had some bomb stuff that was like dipped in batter and sweet stuff and all, and I couldn't have it. It would have made me comfortable, but in the long run, it would have been bad for me. So today, we have a little cheat day today. On Fridays, we go out to lunch. I usually post some pictures on Facebook. If you guys are friends with me on Facebook, and if not, find me on Facebook, JR Fisher. I'm on there, and I'll post some pictures about where we go for lunch. I really appreciate you guys being here so much. You have no idea. You have no idea how important you really are. You may think you're just listening, but you're actually supporting me and this channel. That's very important. You're a very important person. You're helping people out by watching this video right now. It's not just, oh, let me get a drink. It's not just me helping you. It's you helping me, because without you right now, if you don't feel important right now, without you, I wouldn't have a channel, right? So you're helping me a whole lot more than I'm helping you. Trust me on that one. Excuse me. I want you guys to have a really good day. I want you to have a good weekend. I want you to stay outside your comfort zone. Watch some David Goggins stuff. If you haven't, you want to watch a guy that's outside his comfort zone, watch David Goggins. His goal every day is to make every day more and more difficult. That's what he does, because he knows that's where growth is going to come from. That's the old saying that when God brings you up, your job is to send the elevator back down and bring someone up. Be a servant, leader, entrepreneur today. Very well put. I couldn't have put it out. I couldn't have put it any better. I really couldn't. Guys, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you guys. You're very kind to me. You're very helpful to me. And they say a lot, you shouldn't go online because there's so many haters, there's so many mean people. That is so few and far between for me. I see the majority of the people as good. I see the majority of the people as really trying hard. I see the majority of the people are really pretty darn kind. Are there some outliers? Yeah. And you know what? I'm not angry at those people. I feel sorry for them, because their whole, thing is just negativity. And man, there's a reason for that. Something happened to them. Something went wrong when they got all this negativity. And if I can make them feel better and do better, I'm not going to fight with them. There's no point, right? I know they got something going on wrong. Paul says, have a great lunch and a great weekend, gang. Thank you so much, Paul. I really appreciate it. Thank everybody for watching this video today. I really do. If it's not live for you, don't forget to put a comment in the comment section. You may have questions. You may have something I can help you with. Please do that. Don't forget to subscribe below. Don't forget to ring the bell, turn on all bell notifications so you're notified each and every time I go live or I upload a video. You guys are awesome. And you matter. Talk to you later.